Let's talk about NC Soft news because they've got two kind of really big news articles, which I was really quite stunned about. The first one is apparently they've struck a deal with Sony, and this is hugely exciting. If you're a Horizon Zero Dawn fan, Horizon Forbidden West fan, this is actually freaking awesome news if it does actually transpire to be a Horizon themed MMO. Now, if anybody who doesn't know, NCSoft are obviously the developers behind Guild Wars MMO and Lineage. Lineage I'm not aware of. I'm kind of familiar of the brand of Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2. But they seem to be extremely well established in the MMORPG space. So the fact that Sony are tapping them to create a project, develop a project for Horizon is hugely exciting. And I'd love to get both of your thoughts on the potential for this as well, because if you play through any of the games, it was always really rich in its potential for a multiplayer side or a Monster Hunter style of game where the two of you just team up and you hunt down these ginormous robot dinosaur creatures, and maybe it was just that. But obviously an MMO kind of blows the doors open to, creating your character in one of the other factions, of which there are many throughout this universe that Guerrilla Games have now established. There's lots of creatures. There's lots of potential in this world. So I think, Sarah, you're an Aloy fan and a Horizon Zero Dawn fan, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Played through all of the first one, and it's so good. And I played through the second one. I haven't finished it yet, unfortunately, because other games have gotten in the way. This horrible habit of starting things and not finishing them. Not so with God of War. I will definitely be finishing that. But I will come back to it. I think in terms of MMORPGs, I actually haven't played any since, this is showing my age now, the 90s when I played Ultima online. That was what I used to play. And I loved it. I really loved the sort of community aspect of it. And I played a little bit of World of Warcraft, but yeah, Ultima was my main one that I played. But I think the world totally lends itself to it. And I also think that they were going to do multiplayer in the original game and then maybe in the second game, but then decided, no, let's just focus on building this, the single player game and make it a separate thing that we do. Whether or not it was going to be a Horizon or not, didn't know, but that's cool that it will be Horizon. I would love it to be a Monster Hunter style thing because some of those big beasties would be really fun to take down with friends. And if they sort of, built on the existing creatures that are in the world already and made them even bigger, even grander, and then you had to, take them down. I also love the idea of having quests within the world to conquer with a bunch of friends, and it not being limited to one or two in a sort of classic multiplayer. Being MMORPG, maybe you could have a full guild of like a decent collection of people. That'd be super cool.
Yeah,
I'd be so down for that.
It really does get the ideas sparking and the cogs turning as to what they could do in an MMO space. Because if you've played any of the games, you'll be familiar with the the caverns kind of thing, which are where the dinosaurs, the robots are created. So you can imagine if they were to blow that out and make those raids or something like that. Where a Thunderjaw is being created, and then you have to do this massive raid with 8 different hunters of different factions coming together to, I don't know, whatever the objective might be. But that could be absolutely epic, completely epic, because some of these dinosaurs are huge. Thunderjaw being the biggest, but in Forbidden West, there's the woolly mammoth type of robot creatures. There's flying ones, obviously. Jamie, you're a World of Warcraft guy. Can you imagine a robot pterodactyl mount that you could fly through this post-apocalyptic rebirthing environment world that is now taken over by robots, and you get to control the robots, and the potential is huge. And I'm not a big MMO guy at all. I've dabbled in a couple. I quite liked a little bit of World of Warcraft. I quite liked a little bit of Final Fantasy, but I never stick with them. I always play them for a few hours. I'm like, this is cool, but I'm not going to fall down a rabbit hole of consuming hundreds of hours because, as Sarah mentioned there, there's too many amazing games that I want to just play, and they're typically single player games, occasionally multiplayer games, and I never stick with it with MMOs at all. But I know Jamie's hardcore MMO guy for Warcraft and some others. So Jamie, are you excited about the potential of a Horizon?
I really am. I'm weirdly excited for someone who has both never played Horizon and never played Guild Wars 2. But I was lucky enough to work a little bit with the guys from NCSoft in the past because they were the sponsors for a lot of our Eurogamer events. I still want my fucking toaster, Alan. There's the ongoing saga of Al has a Guild Wars 2 toaster in his attic that is mine, and I haven't got it yet. So they made toasters as a branded giveaway item that we toasted the logo into the fucking amazing.
That is cool.
They have such pedigree when it comes to MMOs. Like, it was the only reason I never got into Guild Wars 2 was I felt like I came along too late at the time to really dive into it. Everyone I knew who played it was already max level, doing high level raids, and I would have been left in the dust. And I was already deep into Warcraft by this point. So I thought, well, I'm going to have to pick one. Because MMOs are time sinks. You know, I have hundreds, if not thousands of hours at this point in World of Warcraft. I played Ultima Online, and I mean religiously, to the point that I had an MSN contact list of buyers. And I was the name that I actually got given was not particularly kind, and I'm not going to use it. But I was essentially the guy who got you. I was like the 40 quid Bob. Like, if you needed something in Ultima, you got hold of me because I'd get it for you for 40 quid. And I ran this brilliant little side business. I love it. I love MMOs and the community element, and it carries on into other games. At the moment, I'm heavily into Minecraft. And we have a realm going, and there's 10 of us running it, and everyone's got their projects, and we've built a keep and a village, and we're working on a city now in a far-flung corner of the map where we've got underground tunnel systems, and the world goes on, and everyone's helping each other out. So you take that sense of community and fun, and then you throw in the little I know about the Horizon lore with these massive robotic dinosaurs wandering about, and the possibility of taking them down with a group of friends, and how pretty the game is as well. Like, the idea of that on a vast scale, you know, it's definitely something. If it comes to pass, I will be in. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that I will at the very least give it a go. So sign me up. It looks that'll do me. That sounds pretty damn good.
I know. I just like the idea of being able to pick one of the factions, whether you're the Nora or the Karja or the Shadow Karja or one of the other ones, that you get to just kind of build your character from the very ground up. Like, these are the traits that are the epitome of, or the tenets of, this particular tribe, and then you build your character, and then you get to meet up with your friends or maybe in other tribes, other parts of the world, and then go hunt together, Monster Hunter style, MMO style, and it's hugely exciting to get more MMO games on console. I'm assuming this project will come to console. I'm not. I mean, I might be a bit ignorant in thinking that it is coming to console. It might be a PC only venture. I doubt it, being a Sony partnership and with that IP. But hopefully it does, because MMOs on console, there's not many. Final Fantasy 14 is, I'm assuming, by far the biggest. It's hugely successful. Yeah. That's obviously on PC as well, and cross-play and everything like that. I would imagine this would be PC and probably PlayStation. Maybe one of the listener viewers can let me know if Final Fantasy 14 is on Xbox. I don't think it is. I think it's locked to PlayStation and PC, but I need to maybe kind of confirm that. So I'm assuming that Horizon would probably follow a similar route where you get it on your PlayStation because it is a first-party IP. But you're sort of coming to PC as well to capture that fan base and that MMO hungry demographic and player base to really bolster it and boost it and have just a great time and get them to champion it as well, because the learnings and potential from NCSoft with this particular franchise, again, is huge, and I think we're all three of us are kind of excited for it, even though two of us out of the three of us are not really MMO people, but we're like, Horizon, fuck yeah. Let's check this out. It could be awesome.
I think what you said is right as well. The console community has been crying out for more MMOs. I mean, they've obviously on Xbox, we've got ESO, which,
yes.
I mean, now by all accounts, it's actually really good. and I do intend to dip back into it at some point, probably quite soon. But when it first launched, what everyone wanted was Skyrim with friends, and what they got was, hey,
Sure.
we've got this big, beautiful world that there's fuck all to do in. And oh, okay, well, that's a little bit. It's like, you remember all those wonderful side quests and all that rich lore that we had in Skyrim? Nah, we binned it all, but that mountain is quite nice. And that was how it felt. It just felt empty. But it was early days. But now, by all accounts, there's tons to do in it, and it's a better experience. Fallout 76 was a little bit similar for me as well. Like, didn't feel like there was enough to do, but the base of it was good.
Right.
So you've got those, but the MMO community on console has largely been free to play, bombard you every 10 seconds with messages about buying loot boxes and keys and things like that. Even some of them are great, like Neverwinter, the D&D based one, is actually really good fun. Terra is really good fun. It's got some good premises there, although slightly disturbing because everyone walks around essentially as very sexualized tiny people, and it's a little bit, especially when Alan decides that that's what he's going to play and follows me around doing an uwu voice for the entire night. But that's just Alan. He just likes to make my skin crawl. So, but again, the gameplay was fun and it had some good systems in it. But generally, it's a dry market. So if they could bring something to console with some real MMO pedigree like NCSoft, then I think they'd be onto a winner.
Yeah, I mean, there are plenty of MMOs and MMO light types. I mean, Destiny's probably one of the most popular. I would never say the most popular, but one of the most popular MMO light style of games, and for the first-person shooter genre. Obviously, Warframe has been going for over a decade, hugely popular on both console and the PC space as well. But yeah, like more, if we get even more, would be fantastic. I'm still kind of gutted that Star Wars: The Old Republic never made it to a console space, because it would have been so good, because I've heard such great things about it. I remember seeing like cinematics from the game, and whenever a new expansion would come out, and the cinematics looked incredible, like Warhammer level of amazing cinematics. And that never came to the console space. But
I'm really sad about that, because I remember when that came out, I at the time didn't have a rig that I could play on, so I was like, well, how am I supposed to play this? Having only had what did we have at the time? I can't remember. Definitely only console though. And then, like you say, Jamie, like if you don't sort of join these things right when they start, your friends who've been playing them for a month, maybe 2 months, are already so far above you. I mean, you could power level with them, sure, but like it just doesn't feel the same. Like you don't feel the same sense of accomplishment if you haven't, and you're not working as a team, really, are you? Just being carried by people, which is not satisfying
really
in terms of
hard.
gameplay.
It's true.
There's a friend of mine who's currently playing Warcraft, like getting ready for Dragonflight, which he says he'll probably not play Dragonflight for 6 months because he decided to go right back to the start and actually try and do everything. And so he has leveled a character. He's pretty much hit 60 now, but he's basically been doing all side quests and just slowly enjoying. He said because he's doing it now and he's been playing for years anyway, he can go through and do it solo. He said, and playing Warcraft as a single-player game when you play it slowly to enjoy the story, he said, weirdly satisfying, even though it's an MMO. He said, but at the same time, when I jump on, because I've still got my Warcraft subscription going at the minute, and I still hop back in, some days you just want to fly around singing the theme tune to Flight of Dragons. That's a good time. And
what a movie as well. What a movie.
I actually own it on Blu-ray now. Al found it, sent it to me. That's the most expensive Blu-ray I've ever bought. Because most of my collection is DVD, and I haven't upgraded. But that Blu-ray cost me about 35 quid, and I was like, "Do you know what? I'm buying it. That's absolutely worth every penny." But I digress. I love that film. But yeah, so but he said that it's nice to have that character that he feels he's really experienced everything on, because he came in around Mr. Pandaria. And so there were whole swathes of it that he went through quite quickly to get up to level with me and our friends, and then we all played together through the next section. And that was amazing, but the earlier bits didn't feel as much fun because he wasn't there from the beginning. So it can be a shame. But yeah, I think Horizon has real potential for an MMO. And I have had a thing for ages where I've said, with any game, no matter what game it is, I sit there and think, I'd quite like an MMO of this. because game worlds are great, and you think, God, this could be bigger, and I could be my own character, and I could do this, and I could do that, and I could see that bit that you can't see. So, wouldn't work with everything, but the thought pops into my head with nearly every game I play. So,
yeah. Well, fingers crossed we get some more information on this one soon, because we're just the thought of it has got us all really, really excited.